All right. Good morning, and welcome to the next episode of Girls Are Players Too. I'm the mama, but this is an unusual sight.
There's nothing in between us. I can touch her, y'all. We right next to each other. Yeah. And I'm the daughter, okay? We here together.
We said we was bringing you something crazy on Thursday. We are in the same spot. So, let's kick this off. Okay, so Brittany, when we talked on Monday, I wore all my Bucks gear because I was trying to inject some mojo, something, bring life to the Bucks. And literally an hour after we recorded, a whole lot of stuff
Everything happened. Yes, we were bringing Juju, and then next thing I know, I looked down like, we got Miles Turner. And then maybe 3 minutes later, my mama was like, yeah, but we waived Damian Lillard. My heart sank into the furthest place it possibly could.
So the thing for me about that, and I realize it's a business, the NBA is a business, but I just felt that was so hurtful, because he's not gonna play next year. I mean, he's gonna miss the whole season. So Dame Lillard is a free agent right now.
Yeah,
he truly is a free agent.
Yeah, and when you talk about it's a business, you also think about the loyalty that teams have to players. I mean, we talk so much about Giannis, how he's loyal to the Bucks, and they're trying to do everything to make sure he stays. But it's just like, what about the other players? I mean, Dame has been here for 2 years. Injuries happen, and so to just be like, well, you hurt, so we gonna get rid of you, that one hurt. That one stung a little bit. I mean, we are happy to get Miles Turner because we needed a big, but for what we got him for, that hurt the city of Milwaukee for a little bit.
So let me explain what happened. So they waived his contract basically, which he was due $113 million over the next 2 years. So they were able to stretch that out over 5 years. So basically, Dame Lillard is rehabbing and still going to make $22 million while he's chilling wherever he is. I think he's in Portland rehabbing right now. But another team can sign him if they want to. He is a free agent right now.
Yeah, so we are like die hard, like, how could they? And he probably like, man,
that's okay.
I'm getting my money.
And he can go wherever he wants to. He can literally go wherever he wants to. So,
but if you think about it, by the time he recovers and rehabs, he'll be close to 37. So he might be thinking retirement. I might be foreshadowing again, y'all. I don't know. I'm 1 for 1, but. He might have to start thinking about age and what that looks like, because Achilles coming back from I think that's the hardest injury to recover from. Your hops, your everything it's like resetting. So that just might be something he thinks about, but he's still getting paid into that time.
Right. So. Yeah. And when you mention Achilles injuries, Kevin Durant came back, but he wasn't 37 when he came back, and he's been balling ever since his. Kobe Bryant was not the same player when he tore his. And so that, you certainly have to take that into consideration, but just a blow. Okay, but they also re-signed Jericho Sims, who was a post player that we got from, I think we got him from the Knicks. I feel like that was where he came from during the season. And I think he's helpful. He will be helpful for our rotation, and he's younger. We also signed Gary Harris, who came from the Magic. But we talked about Pat Connaughton opting into his contract, which basically opt-in means you become trade worthy. And we traded we traded Pat Connaughton. So, and what we got from him were more like draft picks for like 2017 or 2092 or something. I don't remember. But it's far out.
Somebody keeps track of that, remember?
Yes, okay. They do. But it just, we needed the Bucks to make some moves, and they certainly did make some moves, but we're one. Oh, and we just released Ryan Rollins. That happened yesterday. So Ryan Rollins was a point guard for us who actually did pretty good.
He did.
Especially when Dame was injured throughout the season. He stepped up pretty. I liked his game for us. So he's not with us either. So I feel like there's another move that's going to happen. But I mean, literally an hour after we recorded, and so I'm glad I wore my stuff because it went crazy.
Yeah. So it's just the trades have been crazy, but you know who solidified the bag, which we're not surprised of because he just won an MVP and a Finals MVP, and he's a champion, is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
So when you are an all NBA player, you become eligible for Supermax, and he was obviously, that was going to happen regardless as to whether he was MVP or whatever. But it certainly didn't hurt his chances that he was scoring champion, Finals MVP, MVP during the league, NBA champ. $285 million over 4 years.
4 years. So that breaks down, I think, like 71.25 million a year.
Do you know how much Michael Jordan earned throughout his entire...
Not that much.
$93 million Michael Jordan earned in his playing career.
Yeah.
And that would, is debatable, the GOAT, but that's the best player in NBA history. But that just lets you know, and he was done in the late 90s. I think he may have played into like 2001
with the Wizards.
But that money, look at, and that's for 4 years, 285. That contract alone dwarfs what Michael Jordan earned over his entire career. And that was just the NBA, because obviously his shoes and his brand, and he's a billionaire.
They
so.
just keep recycling them. So.
Correct.
Yeah, it's amazing, and a testament to Shai. Like you said, that was going to happen regardless. But for what he put on his resume just in 2025 alone, well, the 24-25 season. He earned that. He deserved that, and it is showing his loyalty and the Thunder's loyalty, their loyalty to each other. Like, we got you, and he got them. So, good job, Shai. I'm gonna give you a cheer for that because I just think that's amazing. Get your dinero.
All right. So, what else happened? Okay.
Turn it off.
We also now have learned that the Knicks, after firing Tom Thibodeau after a pretty phenomenal run that they had this year, but they didn't win the Eastern Conference Finals, they just hired Mike Brown.
This just tells me that coaches in the NBA are expendable because you fire Tom Thibodeau and then you bring in Mike Brown. It's like they just keep recycling different coaches in the league. And
correct.
I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, ooh, this could be really good. Because Mike Brown has made himself like he's been around the league for a while, but the teams that he's been with, I think he really edged himself in that spot as a like high prolific coach, and with the Knicks team, I think that is a great place for him to land, coaching that team. So I'm excited.
But he got fired.
He did get fired.
He got fired during the season. And then you hired a coach that was fired during the season. But it happens because, J.B. Bickerstaff coached the Cleveland Cavaliers last year. And then he got fired and went to the Pistons, and the Pistons became a playoff team. So it happens. As you say, they recycle coaches. But I was surprised because obviously when they made the decision to fire Tom Thibodeau, they had somebody in mind, but they didn't get that person. Yeah. And it could have been one of the coaches, Ime Udoka, Jason Kidd. Those were names that were coming out right away. and all of their teams were like, we're not even letting you talk to them. So and then Ime just signed his contract, right?
He's sitting pretty
Correct.
with the team they just built or are building.
Yes, yes. So I mean, I just, with all the moves that have made, and I'm just really excited for what the fall is going to bring, because there's so many new players on teams. Duncan Robinson just left Miami. He's going to Detroit. And we talked about,
I didn't see that one.
Right.
Ooh.
Now, we know Malik Beasley was their sharpshooter. He was actually about to sign a $44 million deal, but Duncan Robinson came in and got $48 million. So that might be where Malik's money went. But, obviously right now he's kind of going through some stuff.
Yeah.
He's going through some stuff.
He's definitely going through some stuff. But that's a shocker that you bring up the Duncan Robinson, because I know we said he left Miami, opted out, and to land with the Pistons with Cade Cunningham and the Thompson twin, and man, the league is gonna be nice.
Yeah,
this year.
okay. DeAndre Ayton
Ooh.
opted out of his contract he was bought out of his contract with Portland. Mm-hmm. And what that means is they settle on a certain amount that they say, okay, we gonna buy you out just so you can do whatever you're gonna do, but you're not here. So they're still paying him something. And he signed with the Lakers. I think that is a great fit for him.
Shoot, with LeBron.
And Luka. Luka wants to throw the lob. He wants to, and DeAndre Ayton is athletic enough to be a lob threat, but he has a mid-range. Like, he for real has a mid-range game.
Yes.
He rebounds. I think people fell out of favor with him when they lost the series against the Bucks in the finals, because that block that Giannis had, which was It was unreal.
That's in history.
It is in history. And maybe that's why they fell out of favor with him.
There has to be a loser.
But rumor on the street too is he wasn't a good teammate in Portland. But that doesn't always mean that people can't have a better situation on a different team. Mm-hmm. And I just think to be able to play with LeBron, to play with Luka, Austin Reeves, I just think that is such a good fit for them. And they needed a true, for real center.
They did. A true center, but like you said, he can stretch the floor too. He can get out. And I think it'll help to revive him, like, as a player, because you haven't heard about DeAndre Ayton in a while since that series against the Bucks.
Yeah, that is true. He kind of was quiet.
Got quiet.
But that's because Portland wasn't winning. If they're winning, you're going to hear about him. Yeah. But my only challenge is, because DeAndre came into the league with some controversy. My only challenge is LA too big? Like, are the bright lights and all the Showtime Lakers and just all the pomp and circumstance that comes with playing in such a big market, will it be too much for him?
Yeah. That you bring up a good point. I think this is kind of my bias. Sorry, y'all. I think with Bron still on the team, he still has that effect, because for example, when Luka came, it was his body's not right, he's not this, he's not that. And what you hear is, as soon as they were kicked out of the playoffs, Luka in the gym, Luka's body is this, Luka is that. So I think with Bron, he still has that effect. Like, I'm still on this team, and we still gonna do something. So I need you to be in line with X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but I think that might be.
Who better to mentor somebody than LeBron James? And his own son can tell you that too, right?
And another thing that I found out, which I had to do a little research, was DeAndre Ayton was a number 1 pick.
You had to do some research,
because I didn't remember that. I had to go back to see what class he was.
Yes.
Not so much the research, but just what class he was in.
Oh, okay.
Because I saw, like, Brown is paired up with another number 1 draft pick, and it's like, dang, he is. And so it's just going to be interesting to see how that pairing Bron and Aiden and Luca and Aiden and just the team as well, the environment. It's a lot. It's a lot of factors that can go into a player like really being locked in or being a head case because they got a lot going on around them.
Yes, for sure. For sure. So shout out to DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
You know, again,
DA.
he signed a contract, 2-year deal with the Lakers, but he's still getting some money from Portland, so he's fine. But let's move from the NBA to the W because the Commissioner Cup happened. And we basically, it was the Indiana Fever against the Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx won last year, and the Lynx have been on a tear this year. I mean, they've just had an incredible season. Of course, we talked about Napheesa Collier just on an MVP tear.
So you would think that the Lynx just took over and won the Commissioner's Cup, right? Wrong. That's not what happened.
What happened, Brittany?
That's not what happened. Well, first headline. Caitlin Clark didn't play.
Was not on the court at all.
She did not play. She was in sweats. Okay? The Fever torched the Lynx. I would say by 15. I think they won by 15.
But at one point, the Lynx were up by 13.
Yeah.
They were winning the game.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden...
What matters? The end score. And who won? The Fever. So what the Lynx did in the game, and I'm just saying because the Lynx have been on a tear. Napheesa has been killing. And the Fever just pivoted, just changed it up. And, you know, it was good. It was good to see them because we were talking about in a few episodes ago, like the Fever right now are like in the middle.
Right.
And so to win the Commissioner's Cup and Natasha Howard was the MVP, you know, I think that helped the camaraderie for the team, especially with that whole DeWanna Bonner waving and trading happening. So it was good on a lot of levels for the Fever to win that.
Yeah.
What also happened during the Commissioner's Cup, you know, they have halftime acts and things and all the things. You know, I just love to see who comes. Red Panda, if you're not familiar with Red Panda, she is like world-renowned unicyclist who does all these tricks and things. She fell off her unicycle
during the
halftime
no
show.
way.
Yes. And like fractured her wrist.
No way.
And I'm seeing the scroll like Red Panda has fallen. Red Panda this. Like what? But just imagine y'all, like whoever was in the stands seeing that, y'all saw that live. Like y'all watched her fall.
Yeah.
I'm just sending prayers and all that as she recovers. I mean, thankfully it's nothing worse than a fractured wrist, but still, like this is what you're known for. Yeah. This is your skill.
Yes.
And man, so I wanted to throw that in there because it's like, yeah, the Fever and they did this, and then during the halftime act, it was the
that certainly can change, make you feel bad.
Because you witness it.
Absolutely.
But she's good. She's all good. But you know, that was just a random drop in because it happened during the Commissioner's Cup. So
yeah. Well, All-Star Game is coming up for the W. Woo. And maybe that's why the Fever won, because Aaliyah Boston, she balled also in the Commissioner's Cup.
She did.
And she's been named a starter for the All-Star Game. So that's coming up. But baseball, Major League Baseball, their All-Star Game is coming up. And we have, so let's just clear this up.
Back it up.
We don't talk a lot about Major League Baseball because they have 162 games. So it's kind of hard to say, oh, the Marlins won or the Brewers won. And it's like, okay, but they still have 99 games to play. So, but we can get excited about the All-Star Game because obviously that's, you know, fans are voting. People are getting excited about everything. And, you know, when you look at like Aaron Judge from the Lakers, from the Yankees, you know, he is like every year he should be an All-Star. And he is killing it again this year. The Yankees are just a phenomenal team, but they have the money and the resources to make sure that they're good every year. But what just happened yesterday, the Dodgers played the White Sox, and Clayton Kershaw he got his 3,000 strikeout, which is incredible for a pitcher. But it was just so cool to see that happen. And like I said, with the hype, because they announced the starters for the Major League team, for Major League, for that information to come out at the same time that this came out, it was a lot of hype yesterday in Major League Baseball.
I want to give it up for Clayton Kershaw because we can call him. It was. So congrats there, because that is a huge feat.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
We talked about just pitching and throwing and all of that, and my shoulder hurt just doing that. I mean, that is your craft. So that's huge, and congratulations on that. But yeah, it's just a lot of things happening in the sporting world right now. I know I watch the Brewers, and I literally watched them give up a grand slam. So I'm sure they lost that game, but yeah, it's just you catch different things, different sports happening. But yeah, this is a good time with the All-Star and the W and the major leagues happening. To your point about baseball, it feels like it's double the time of an NBA season.
It is double.
But it's like the same amount of time in months played.
Correct.
They just double the game.
because they have three game series, and they play 3 days in a row. So, but we will start to talk more about baseball, because obviously NBA is done. Still got W going on. But we talked about Wimbledon on Monday.
Talk about putting juju in the air.
Wimbledon started on Monday. And I was so focused on the Bucks that I made a declaration that I was betting on Coco. I probably needed to wear some New Balance or something, because she could have used it. She lost in the first round.
She messed up the parlays. Let's just say that.
In the first round?
She's out. This 2-week tournament is done in a day for her. Sorry, Coco. I mean, dang. Like, was it the fatigue or the high from the French? Like, and no shade or nothing here, because it is a quick transition from one to the next.
Well, she said that she was overwhelmed. Okay. And I think that is something that we have to take into account with athletes that are in singular sport.
Yeah, yes.
Because sometimes they'll say, well, I'm really competing against myself. And in that regard, if you're overwhelmed, or your mental becomes foreshadows what is happening to you physically, that's a problem. And there's so much pressure on the athletes to compete. But the first round?
Yeah, I mean, at the way she's been going, you kind of expected her to further her play.
Right.
But, when you talk about her being overwhelmed in the individual, I tried track, y'all. This is a history lesson, just a history lesson about me. I tried track freshman year in high school. I couldn't do it because it's too individual. Because you see the people lining up next to you, and it's like, okay, I'm competing against them, but I am competing against myself. And y'all, I was not. I learned that I was not
what
fast.
What event was it, Brittany?
The 100.
Okay, so when the gun went off and you saw how fast them chicks came out,
dusted me, snatched me left and right. No, I have quick twitch fibers for a basketball court. I'm real quick step, real quick shot, but out the blocks, forget about it. Y'all can keep that. So I understand. On an individual level, that is very overwhelming, because I need teammates to be like, why you ain't do that?
Right, or we got you,
or
girl.
we got you. Like, we can talk,
too,
but we can discuss as a collective unit.
That's
me
so
is
funny.
Just dang, you suck. Dang. So, Coco, it's okay.
It's
Shake
all right.
This one off.
You're still young. You're fine.
You good.
Sabalenka, Arena Sabalenka, she's winning, so she's into the third round. Madison Keys won, so she's still playing. We talked about Jess Pegula, because that was the one that lost in the first round right away. Frances Tiafoe another American. He lost, and but it's been some upsets that's been happening. But we still have Dana Collins. She's still playing. Like I said, Madison Keys is still in. Naomi Osaka, she won, so she's into the third round.
Yeah.
So there is still reason to keep watching.
Absolutely.
If you're a true tennis fan. A lot of the big names. Iga Swiatek, she's still playing. I think she actually has a match today. So there is still reason to watch, just I guess I'm happy that I did not put a bet, like physical money, because I would have lost big, because that was probably the biggest upset of the tournament for Coco to be out.
And the thing too about individual sports is it changes. Like, who's winning, who's not winning, it changes. So it's not like a team where it's like, they're a dynasty and we expect them. You don't know who might win in the individual sporting world. So keep watching, because you still got a week and a half of Wimbledon, so you'll still get some really good matches. You'll still be able to see some good matches.
Yeah, because Djokovic, he's still playing. Carlos Alcaraz is still playing. So there's still a lot that can happen. I just now have to pivot, because I got to figure out who I'm rooting for now, because my girl...
I think for the men's, Medvedev, how you say that?
Medvedev?
Yes. He lost.
No way. Okay, yeah. So it happened. I mean, Wimbledon came up, right? It came up so fast, and again. But one thing that I did read was they were saying, especially from the women's side, that they think this era of tennis is the most competitive it's ever been. It's hard for you to say, okay, Iga is going to, win because whatever, she's ranked number 1, or Arena Sabalenka or Coco, because there's so much, the competition level is so close now. Like everybody is like doing the same thing. Their serves are good. It's efficiency with serves, a power game. So it's hard to gauge what's gonna happen, but I guess that's the whole point of sports, You don't
know what you're going to get.
Somebody got to win, and somebody's going to lose.
Definitely going to lose. But it's not the end of the world, because they just come back. There are quite a few tournaments and Grand Slam, however you phrase it, in tennis, throughout a year.
Right.
So they just keep coming back. And, Coco,
she just got to get ready for the U.S. Open.
Just
get ready for the U.S.
Next
Open.
month.
That's the big one. It's in September.
It's not next month?
No, it's the end of August, because it rolls into...
Okay.
That's right.
I just know it starts in August.
Yeah, because it rolls over into Labor Day. But, yeah, you're right. Okay. So, now, you see where we are, right? On Thursday, we traveling... today is Thursday, right?
Thursday.
Okay. So on Monday, I guess we gotta figure out where we gonna be. We don't know. We don't know. We've been on this road, and it's been exciting, but we are still very committed to making sure we keep bringing you our talk back, because obviously we're having just a ball, just talking all things sports.
Yeah.
But tomorrow is Independence Day. So I know that 100% of people are off tomorrow. I say 100%, because some people do have to work. It is, essential
I think even
worker.
the post office is closed.
It is closed. The banks are closed. Yes, it's a federal holiday. So
grocery stores, y'all better be closed. Fast foods, y'all better be closed. Be independent.
No. So there's a lot happening in our world right now, with just different wars going on between Israel and Iran, between Russia and Ukraine. I mean, it's just, there's a lot happening. So, and even within the United States, we have our own internal strife that we are dealing with as a country. But, we just got to take a moment to acknowledge independence. and the fact that we have our own culture, we have our own country, we are, you know, we're able to do these types of things because of a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that people prior to us went through to give us this opportunity. So enjoy your 4th of July holiday. Lots of fireworks,
boom, 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 boom,
barbecues.
Boom.
Yes, but for us, it's family time. So we are going to sign off and have a good time. Enjoy the weekend.
Have a great weekend.